Thank you so much.
Ow.
Isn't
I
that
just
crazy?
keep looking at it.
Look how solid this is. Like here, the brake. I know, eh? The brake is my pinky. So.
Did you break it when you were young ever? Did
No,
you
this
ever
is my
break
first
a bone?
No, this is my first cast.
Do tell.
At 47 years old.
So did you have to have I mean, it's like this.
Okay.
I'm quite nervous. I'm like, what if they have to do vascular surgery? On
No,
you?
I'll
Okay,
tell you
good,
what.
good,
Well, if
so
you want to hear something kind of crazy, let's not make
I
this whole
do.
thing about me.
I understand, but I like it.
I'm not the president of the U.S. Not about me.
Don't even.
So, we will cover that today. No. So I heard it. I went to did the X-rays. They said you have fracture. Then they splint it, and then I had to go back like 5 days later.
Yes.
To see the specialist.
Yes.
He tells me. He says, okay. He says I can give you a needle for the pain,
Yeah.
or we can just do it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if that's an option, and he seemed very serious. I said, if that's an option, I'll do it without pain, without the meds.
That's right.
And then he said, you better put, and I was holding a Kim's. He said, you better put that down. And then while I was trying to get organized for what I was assuming was some crazy pain, I don't know what he did, but it was, I just started swearing and laughing. I actually laughed at first and then swore. And he just did, I don't know what, for like 30 seconds. It was this excruciating pain.
I wonder if he did what's known as the beer blocks.
What is that?
Well, I said a technique where they have to kind of like pull the bone, or they have to
I think so, because then I went back for an X-ray, make sure it was set properly, and then they wrapped it.
Interesting.
And it was very painful.
Yes. But see, my dentist gives me that option, and I always take the option where I don't get any painkillers.
For teeth stuff?
Yeah, because I don't have the time to wait for Novocaine. It's a very heavy molecular material. I don't want to wait for it to take.
Right.
So
you've
like,
had
let's fucking go.
Have you had like teeth taken out?
I've had all my wisdom teeth taken out. I've had my teeth broken 4 times, and I had a molar break one time where they had to get the crumbs out.
What?
Oh yeah.
And he's in there digging into the skin and and you're just like, it was hurting, wasn't it?
Oh certainly.
And you weren't moving?
Yeah, but I want to get out of there. Plus my dad's a dentist, so I'm like, I'm into it. I'm ready. I'm going. Plus, being straight edge for so long, I was like, no painkiller. That's cancer changed that thing, huh? But, I mean, the painkiller thing, the pain.
You just said, say that one more time. I think
cancer changed
No, before that. Did you say straight edge?
Oh, yes, I was for a long time. It was important to me never to take an aspirin, man.
Really?
But I drank coffee because Henry Rollins drank coffee.
Okay.
And I was like, if Hank can drink coffee and be a straight edge, then I think I can drink coffee.
Yeah.
So.
And now, where are you at today with that? Just coffee still and pop?
Yeah, pop is Diet Coke.
Yeah.
But when I was a raw food vegan.
Which you're not right now?
Well, I'm a vegan always, but to be raw food, you can't have this. It's not a raw food, it's a prepared food.
So you literally have to,
and I was by accident. I would never try to be a raw food vegan. I just ate like bananas because they had bananas, beer, or boiled dumplings in Eastern Europe, so I would just eat bananas.
Okay.
Someone went, wow, you're a raw food vegan. I was like, how about that? That's it.
Very cool.
I mean, it's silly.
No, I think it's cool. But you stuck to it. It's not like you went right back to, you didn't stick to the raw food part, but I mean.
No, now I'll have rice, for example.
Okay.
Rice is not a raw food.
Oh, that's considered.
But it's vegan, but it's not raw food.
Interesting. Okay, I would have thought that would qualify.
No.
But I guess not, eh?
Cooked.
Yeah. Cool. So tell me about tonight. You're playing. Here we are in Waterloo. You're playing for what I'm going to say the 1000th time. You've done many concerts over the years.
Yeah.
So what do you do like before the show? Do you have a routine or anything you have to do before a show?
No, I never really did. Like it just kind of depends. For example, the bass player David and my drummer Chico have never been here before.
Okay.
And so we'll probably, there'll probably be some sightseeing, like we might, try to get for a bite or go in the university area. We just see TV. So we've been down King Street, showed them that. And
right on.
Yeah, and then we'll get here and get ready. But if there's a band first, we'll probably come earlier so we can see them.
Right on.
Yeah.
And then you've got, I think, like 5 shows in 5 nights. You're playing.
Yeah, just a little string of dates.
But it's like bang, bang, bang. Now, one of them, I was curious, one of them's a festival you're playing, Cosmo Festival?
Yeah, I've never played that. We have to be there at like noon. We're on at 1.
Okay.
We're playing in Arnfire the night before.
Yeah.
Probably till 2 in the morning. I'm not sure what their general schedule is, but
Okay.
it's going to be interesting. But I'm always the designated driver, as you can imagine. So it's only that interesting for me. Everyone else sleeps.
That's good. But it should be the other way around, shouldn't it?
That's okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
It allows me to mummy.
Okay. Which you like doing?
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. I was curious, about like what that would be like doing a festival like that, where it's not like a Bif Naked show. It's
Festivals
you're
are
one
great.
of.
We love festivals.
Yeah.
We do festivals every summer. Previous to this, we were living in Vancouver for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's festivals out there, just like here, all summer long. We have enjoyed doing those, and now we're here. And yeah, this is the first time we're doing Cosmo Fest, so it's exciting. A lot of our friends are playing.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, so who, aside from yourselves, if somebody was going to go to Cosmo Fest, who would you say they got to see? This, of course, see you, but who else?
Oh, well, for sure they have to see Kim Mitchell.
Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah, we just played a festival with them last weekend.
Oh, right on.
Yes, and
okay.
it was so much fun. They have to see Big Rack, obviously. They have to see April Wine. People love it.
That's
April
right,
Wine.
yeah.
I mean, there's so much stuff, though. There's also like a trade show type of thing. There's like an exhibition. So you can go and see all the music equipment, and there's like fan stuff, meet and greets, and
Right on.
yeah, it seems really good.
Can I ask you about your cancer?
Of course.
So you got diagnosed in 2009.
No, it was
No.
2000. I was married
Sorry.
in 2007. 3 weeks
Okay.
later, I was diagnosed with breast
2007.
cancer.
Okay. And
My treatment was 2008, 2009, 2010.
Oh my God. And then
Exciting.
since then you're fully
They give you a clean
remission.
bin of health if it doesn't come back to you.
Right, which
Yeah,
means
I'm
it's
clear
till it right.
until I'm not clear.
Right,
Yeah.
but in
It's
the
like,
meantime,
I'm
you
clear.
don't-
Yeah, I'm good. You never
So-
think you'll get it again.
Which is good.
Yeah, of course.
We hope you don't.
Of course
obviously.
not.
Of course. But you, I read something where you were saying that really gave you a sense of what other patients go through and stuff.
Oh yeah,
right?
it was
And
amazing.
Has it made you even more? You've always been an advocate. That's a big piece of who you are. But did that make you more so even for like patient condition, patient rights, that type of stuff?
I think what it did was really inform my focus a little bit more.
Okay.
Just from volunteering, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like I set out to be a volunteer, which
Yeah.
is a great thing to do. But I just kept getting asked, literally, to go to palliative care patients who, their family would say, they can relate to you. They have breast cancer also, only they're losing their battle. And so how could I ever say no? Even if I felt shy or awkward or felt badly or any of
Yeah.
those things, how could I say no? So I was like, I have to go. So then I started kind of going and getting really accustomed to it and realizing what a great need there is for that type of volunteer specifically.
Perfect.
Not just with the patients, but with the families who are like messed up. Like they're hovering, or they're not giving the patient a break. They're crying all the time, or whatever the case, and they
Yeah.
need support. They also need to be, the patient needs to be supported. It's just so many facets. It was so interesting, and I was like, why am I not working in this field? Like, why am I not doing this? And I don't know, it really gave me a passion for it.
Yeah.
And that has never left me. As far as cancer goes, especially breast cancer, I just find that the more I do speaking engagements or talks, I meet women who are terrified.
Okay.
And they really express that they can't do it. They don't want to do chemotherapy, or they're just going to go and do naturopathic medicine, which is great, whatever. I always try to be very neutral, regardless of what I think on the inside.
Okay.
Because I should be neutral always, because it's everyone's choice, although I know that me going the medical route saved my life.
Right.
But I just find that I just love it. I love the peer-to-peer volunteering the most. And I wish I could be a chemo surrogate. These women are afraid. It's like the dentist with no painkillers.
Okay.
I wish I could be a chemotherapy surrogate for the women who are terrified. I'm not terrified. I really don't care. I got it dialed in. The miso
Right.
soup, which days I can't go to the basketball court because I have a headache, whatever it is. I just kind of, it was good. I think that having cancer was really great because it really taught me so much about just what's going on, what's covered, what's not covered. Like, I got a blood clot in my port, for example, and the medication for that is called fragments injections. It's about $1,000 a month, and it's not covered.
Really?
Because it doesn't affect the cancer cell directly. It was not exactly for the cancer cell.
Okay.
So that was something I learned.
And you find this out, it's not like you have a choice to say, well, geez, I don't want it then.
What is a woman to do?
Like
or a family to do when that's not covered?
Yeah.
And it's like, until you're in it, you don't know that happens. And so it's like, what do people do? And it's like, well, they die. Or they don't thrive, or they fail to thrive, or they don't do as well.
Right.
So that's something that I was like, oh, this is great to learn this firsthand. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like it was the best education I could have got.
Okay.
To be able to inform any advocacy or even activism that I would want to do moving forward in public health or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So what would you tell like women or anybody that's affected that's in that situation now? Like,
there's so many. We could talk about it for hours. But as far as medical, there are usually foundations in place. It's community promise to promise, but usually there's going to be ways in place. But you have to be your own advocate. If you don't ask, you'll never know. If your husband doesn't fight for you with the nurse and says, no, we need this covered, what do we do? How do we solve this? Like, keep going, keep asking. If someone says, yeah, the office isn't open, call back, get on a cancellation. It's like, and it's not natural for most people to do that. Plus you're already like sick, or you're tired, or you're experiencing side effects, plus taking care of 4 kids. It's so much. Yeah. But, you get through it. You do, and people do. It's amazing. That's why we all share those incredible stories of resiliency that we see in passing on social media or whatever. They're inspiring because it's reality for people. And I don't know. It's just I could talk for hours and hours and hours. Don't even get me started on Northern Ontario and how there's no services, on some of these remote communities.
So what are they to do? Like, again, we're talking about things that
and
are...
it's, again, if you're living in poverty, it's a whole other thing. If you're living in poverty, getting to the doctor is the last thing on your list if you're trying to buy groceries.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then you're diagnosed later.
Right.
And so then your chances of thriving or surviving are possibly lower. And so then look at the differences socioeconomically between patients. I could go on and on, but it was fascinating.
Well,
it's really
interesting. I'm glad you're making such a active voice to it, because it's still something that's way better than it used to be.
Yes.
Right? But it's still great to have just, I would say, people of all across the spectrum that are willing to just talk and say, hey, this is what I went through.
Oh, yeah.
And, if you can relate, take something from this, great. So I think you're doing such a great service.
Thank you. Well, I mean, and you know what? It's not even that I'm like, I just think, and now as the population ages, our parents are all getting older, but they're poorer. So what do you do with a senior citizen who's alone, whose family lives across the country, for example, and who, their CPP or their pension is not going to cover their rent? Those rents are like $1,500 a month for a shit hole.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's not even full service or full care. It's just, so I just think I have a big mouth. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? Shit, I survived. Okay.
Yeah.
What do I do now? Am I going to be able to tour 300 shows a year like always? Maybe. Do I want to? Where's my big mouth needed? Really? I mean...
And you can do both.
Yeah, and I try to.
And it almost seems like, is it fair to say that as opposed to taking your energy, in fact, doing one or both of those sort of feeds the other and nourishes you to even continue and do more, which is counterintuitive, but is great.
I love it.
I personally take inspiration from that, because a lot of times I'm like, you get all ideas or things you go, I should do or I could
Sure.
do, and then I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired.
Of course.
So, you know, when you see somebody who's like, okay, you're, you know, even doing 2 shows, I can't even do 2 interviews in a day. You know, I'm too tired. You're doing shows night after
Believe me,
night.
I'm
and
hoarse. I
dread-
talk like this. By 3 days,
You know.
I'll sound like a man, like a husky man. Long hair. You know.
So here's something else to switch gears a little bit. You talk somewhere I was reading, trying to cram as much as I could. But you talk about serendipity as being like a big thing, or coincidences. You believe that. So I share that with you in the sense that I kind of view everything as just one giant energy field.
Sure.
And so stuff just happens. And so I'm preparing for the interview with you. I know you've spent some time in Winnipeg, and in parallel to that, I've got this performer, Skylar, who is from Manitoba, that was playing somewhere last night in Kitchener, and I'm like, I want to go see him play, and I couldn't get it organized. So literally 2 hours ago, I'm like, Skylar, I'm going to interview Bif Naked. You want to come? And then I could meet him, and I could meet you. He lived in Dauphin as well. Did I say the place right? No. So you lived in Dauphin, Dauphin.
I did.
What do you guys call that
Can
place?
I move in? I'm just afraid
You're
that
gonna
might be too far.
you
from
move
the
in.
mic.
So I told him he could have the rest of my interview time. And
Yeah.
we could be like
that is
Manitoba
so
buddies. So
cool.
don't
Yeah,
swear
it's-
like in Low
I'm
German
so
or any stuff like that.
I'm so excited to
that
be
is
meeting
so
you, Bif. It's so
cool.
cool.
And so when
yeah,
did you
I worked
live
at
in
730
Dauphin?
CKDM.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
can you tell me a little bit about
About
like, when you
Dauphin?
lived there? Like,
So
what
I
was
moved
it
to
like?
Dauphin in 1981
Okay.
when we were kids, and
Yeah.
we moved from Lexington, Kentucky,
Oh.
where
wow.
my dad was a professor at the University of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Home of the Kentucky Wildcats, I might have to add that. Anyway, and he moved to Dauphin, Manitoba, which is Canada's national Ukrainian capital.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
The national
culture
Ukrainian
shock.
festivals there and everything.
And we
yeah.
moved there with Southern drawls, us, my 2 sisters and I. And so, I mean, I'm not going to tell you about, girl culture, but,
yeah.
long before there was Facebook or any of this stuff, I mean, I had the snot beat out of me in grade 7, probably once a week minimum.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, but you know what? It turned me into a comedian.
Okay.
Really, it did.
Yeah.
And I still have great friends from Dauphin. In
Really?
fact, my best friends are still from junior high and high school.
Yeah.
And
It's a very
yeah,
hick
we moved.
town, right? Country Fest. Too,
Sure,
as
but it
well.
wasn't when I lived there. They just
No.
had the Ukrainian festival,
Yeah.
and all the friends I had in school were all Ukrainian dancers.
Yeah.
All of them.
Still like that.
Bitaimo, I mean, it was like amazing, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was a great place to come of age, and it was a different era.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
there in 1981. Then when did you went to Winnipeg after?
Yeah, moved to Winnipeg in '84, the year that Iron Maiden was on their Power Slave tour, and saw Van Halen's Jump tour. But it was great, to come of age in Manitoba.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better.
Do you still have a lot of
upbringing.
family back there?
I was just there last week. I was there
Were
for
you
an
there?
entire week. The Jets and
Yeah.
stuff. And my mother is there, and my 2 sisters are still there. They have
Yeah.
kids, and
Oh, so you visit there often?
all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're somebody who's dealt with an incredible amount of adversity in your life. Like, what's the main thing that you've learned from going through?
That everyone goes through adversity. There's one lady that I know that is a double mastectomy patient, and she is just a spitfire. She is a spitfire. She's from Atlantic City, New Jersey, and she said, "Look, don't ever let me tell you anything else except that everybody's got their own bag of shit." That's always what she said, and I was like, yes,
That's
everyone.
so spot
but it's
on.
like it's so true,
Yeah.
and I just thought, you know what? It doesn't matter what I'm going through. I always think of someone who's going through worse. Like, for example, in cancer care, some of the girls in my volunteer group, they had to take the bus to chemo, or they took the bus dragging their 2 little kids to chemo. Nary a complaint. They never complain, and
Yeah.
I just was like, I can never complain. This is awesome. This is awesome. It rules. Just whatever it is. When my kidney, 2 years out, and breast cancer was a beautiful time in my life, because suddenly I was in a sorority that previously I hadn't had, and it was really eye-opening, because I was in a few different exercise clinical trials with other patients, and that was the key for me. Just being with all these other women, I never would have met them. They never would have met me. I was a social worker, a teacher, an elementary school teacher, a cop, there was me. We were all bald, jaundiced, yellow, doing the thing. Didn't care what anyone's job was, didn't matter what anybody's socioeconomic status was, their background, nothing. It was so nurturing and important. And it was easy. For me, it was easy, and it was amazing, and it was just like revolutionary. And it was after that, my kidney failed just because of a infarct, but they thought my cancer had come back. And you lie there on the gurney, you're like, bring it on. You know what? Okay, I got away with life this long. It's good. I'm good. And that was that was my crisis. That was my health crisis.
Yeah.
It was never breast cancer because I was surrounded by other patients. Yeah. So I think the isolation of people is what is terrifying. People aren't afraid of death, or they're afraid of dying. And that is like such a different thing. I think that people need to be kind of embraced more. It just taught me so much about how everyone feels the same things. Everyone ultimately is 10 inside. Yeah. Everyone is that same kid, like every one of us. Go home, look up your picture from grade 5. That's the person who gets mad in traffic. That's the person who gets hurt in relationships. That's the person who is like anxious or what. It's always the same. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's hard not to acknowledge that person.
It makes it more forgiving when somebody cuts you off in traffic.
Yes,
and like when somebody does you wrong,
because
also it's like, 10. They're just they're immature like I am.
Yeah. I always wish I was a cop in traffic, though. I stopped, yelling like things. My husband, I'm not going to say it on camera, he says death threats, but he yells through the windshield. And I always all I think to myself is, why am I not a cop? God, I got to be a cop. I'm going to be a cop.
Well,
that's me.
Especially you're on tour a lot, so you see a lot of...
I am like obsessed.
I'm based in Winnipeg right
highway. Now. Oh, very good.
So
it'd be very hard to be a cop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be hard. I want to be Chips. I want to be a highway cop. Really, really specific. Yeah, Chips. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So that brings into my next question. I'm on tour from Winnipeg. I just actually got back from Vancouver, and we're heading all the way to PEI.
Amazing, beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get there. It's gonna be amazing.
Yes.
But what is one thing that you would give, like advice-wise, to a young touring musician?
Laugh your head off. Laugh every day, no matter what's happening. Laugh, laugh, laugh. No matter if the gang from Fresno steals all your gear. No matter if the tire blows out while you're driving on the highway. No matter what is going on, you have to laugh through it, because ultimately, to be able to be an artist and even to get a fucking sandwich for playing your art, that you made it through another day as an artist. And literally, it's hand to mouth. It's hand to mouth when you're 18, and it's hand to mouth when you're 38.
Yeah.
Even Drake's hand to mouth. It's different. He's probably got,
it's somebody else's.
More money, more problems. But it's always the same. It's always the same.
Yeah.
It never changes. And as artists, I think that no matter how experienced we are, no matter how many years pass, we still are always waiting to get discovered.
Yeah.
Really, I think that yearning will never leave an artist, whether you're a writer, a painter, a singer. It doesn't matter. I think that is one thing that is always that kind of little person that yearns, that creates.
That inner 10-year-old that's like, I could have done that better, or why is that opportunity going to somebody else instead of me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, is there one story that pops into mind of like one of your first tours, like something?
Oh my gosh!
Something.
I can't. Oh my
well, I
gosh,
know you must have
tours.
thousands of.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to.
Or a moment that you realized that like this is going to be me. This is going to be my life for now.
Oh, I've known that since I was Goldilocks and the Three Bears in grade 6.
Yeah.
But I thought I would be a ballerina.
A ballerina.
Until I was 17, and then I thought I'd be a comedian.
Yeah.
And I got into a punk rock band because I liked the drummer. That was it.
That was like the drummer.
Yep, they lost their singer, and
Those drummers.
He had a mohawk. I married him too when I was 18. It didn't work out, but anyway. And he was like, "You want to sing in our band?" I'm like, "Of course I do."
Yeah.
I didn't know. I couldn't sing. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like anything that I had planned on, and I just think that, you know, the smartest thing that I ever did was take myself out of the hockey pool that we had as a band.
Yeah.
Because I had a Mario Lemieux Rock'em Sock'em doll. And they took my doll in 1992, I think, or 91. They so hated the Penguins. And I love Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
I loved him. And now I love him more. I mean, he saved the team. He so loved the team. He bought the team.
Fellow cancer survivor.
Yes. I mean, he's a god, right?
Yeah.
So they took my Rock'em Sock'em doll in front of the Satyricon, which was a notorious punk club in Portland, Oregon. And they put my doll under the van tires, and they backed up and drove over the doll. Well, I stood on the sidewalk with the guy who was the promoter. I think we called him George the Greek, like this big guy. And I was sitting there with these crocodile tears coming down my face, going, "Hey, I hate you guys." And you know what? The next day we laughed about it. And I think that if you keep laughing, always remember you're going to laugh about it tomorrow, whatever it is.
And my last question before
the noise starts.
my last question before we go is if you're ever in Winnipeg, you mentioned you play basketball.
Yes.
Let's shoot hoops
I'm
together.
not very good.
Well, me neither.
But I would love
school.
that.
Thanks so much for talking to me, Bif.
Thank you. Have a great tour.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. What a pleasure. Great idea.
Yeah, no,